With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
We done that in the 80s. We always done that. This is the karate's answer for evolution. Welcome to Anxious Black Belt podcast. Thank you very much for your support through the Patreon page, through the YouTube subscriptions. We're nearly at 6,000 people, and now YouTube allow us to have memberships. So check it out, and if you wish to support a little bit more of my content and all the tutorials and martial arts related stuff I'm posting, that would be awesome. Thank you as well to those who purchase my Safe Space t-shirt. It's this one. All the money from that goes into a Karate for Mental Health CIC that supports people with a free sessions during the week. They can come in, a kind of release their stresses and feel better, maintain their mental health, improve their well-being overall with a physical training and mental health support. Today's episode is something that is really very prevalent for karate and traditional martial arts, and you don't see that really in the other combat sports. You probably heard, we done that before. We always done it. We done it in the 80s. My coach was teaching that a long time ago. And this is the karate's answer to evolution and introduction of new fighting ways. In the 80s, in the 70s, everybody was doing stand-up training. Karate was one of the leading movements, something new, something exciting. So people been joining in masses. And ground fighting or wrestling on the floor was kind of looked at as something inferior, something that only poor people will do or people less skillful would do. There's a great podcast from my friend Jamie Clubb going into depth of that perception of the grappling and ground floor being a lesser art. And I think we all thought like that, being fed the stories of the masters who've been defeating people on stand up with one punch, and then if you're being dragged into the floor, just punch the people and come out. But as the BJJ grow, catch can wrestling and all the MMA movement, everybody realized that we are missing that game. The groundwork game is gone, non-existent in stand-up martial arts, and a lot of people started to introducing that in. We've got the now huge amount of MMA clubs and karate clubs that do groundwork, do breakfalls, do throws. My club is one of those. We introduced the elements of groundwork to give us the ability to stand up and fight where we're most comfortable, but we want to be aware of the dangers of being on the floor. Therefore, I'm doing BJJ, and we're introducing slowly the components of that, but through the lens of karate. So we want to be able to escape from the floor, escape as a self-defense situation. So I don't want to be there. I don't want to be fighting, and just be aware of all the levels from stand-up, throwing, and groundwork. But what is funny is that wherever you say something in the community online, there is somebody popping in, oh, we done that in the 80s, oh, we always have a groundwork. Karate is full of groundwork, the kata show groundwork, and so on. And that's simply a misleading, I think. Karate's got that inferior syndrome that it wants to be everything. You want to do sport, we're going to do self-defense, we're going to do groundwork, we do throws, and yes, kata are full of throws, full of grappling. I don't see evidence of being a groundwork based, and I don't think any of the old systems were really looking into the groundwork. So this is kind of a odd hearing that we always been doing it, because if you look at any footage from like 60s to 2000s or 90s, you don't see anybody doing uh, groundwork. Only when the BJJ emerged and been so successful with the UFC and other forms of competition and testing against the other martial arts, everybody starts saying, "Oh yeah, we always been doing groundwork. This always was part of us." For us, we never learned groundwork. We had some idea of pins from judo, from wrestling, but there was no system of doing a so advanced technical abilities on the floor. We had couple of escapes from the floor and getting back up, but we never explore and been proficient in groundwork to a degree that is BJJ. So saying that your karate have been doing that always, it's very misleading. But it's not about just the physical abilities, it's about the mentality. You don't see that from a Muay Thai or wrestling or boxing that they go, oh no, we have done always groundwork, we just don't never showed it, but it's secret in our system. And Muay Thai doesn't care about groundwork. They're focusing on their goal: stand up fighting, elbows, knees, takedowns. That's fine. No, nobody has a problem. Wrestling, we just throw and try to pin people. We don't need to do joint locks. We don't need to punch. We don't go out there and saying, "Oh, we always been punching." Although, as we know, in pancration and other forms of early wrestling, there was punches and there was pins and stuff like that, and I was smashing people around. But nowadays, this is not the goal of the sport. You don't see boxing going, oh yeah, we can kick, but we just don't show it, and we always done that, but we just don't demonstrate it. Everybody is focused on their purpose. Karate is kind of, oh, I want this. Oh, that's shiny. I'm gonna have this. Oh, that's new. I'm gonna have this. And it says that always done it. And I think that comes from the insecurities of karate instructors who know they are lacking, but they cannot accept it that, we don't have to be everything. For me, karate is the unarmed combat system that wants to be able to counteract everything just to keep me safe. I don't need to be a master of groundwork. I don't need to be a master striker. I don't need to be master kicker or master thrower. I just need to be aware of all those components and be able to hold myself up against those and be able to escape. Uh, I purposely choose to not go deep into a self-defense. I'm focusing on a sporting and well-being abilities, helping my students to be a healthy individuals, both mentally and physically. So I don't need to go and say I am a super exponent of BJJ. I enjoy groundwork, but I don't go and teach self-defense on a wider scale. We do elements of self-defense in our class that to cover the basics, soft skills and few elements that gonna help you. But our main focus is on a well-being and as well the mental health aspect. And our club, I have to say, is a one of the leading in that field. I wrote a couple of books on mental health and karate and shared my story, how myself going through the mental disturbance been helped by a sporting aspect of karate, where there was no groundwork, there was no so much throws, but we focused on knockdown. We have a clear path, and that path helped me to recover from the anxiety. If you are interested in that kind of approach, we have created a course. It's called Karate for Mental Health Toolbox. It's available on our CIC page, and you can have a look at it down below in description or the pop-up banner up the top if that's something that you would like to explore. But we never go and say to people, "Oh, we always had the uh, groundwork in our system." We learn. There's no shame in saying that, I never done it. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna go somewhere and learn, and I'm gonna incorporate that in my system. And that's whole purpose of karate, and it always was. And read from the old masters' teachings that their students learned something, went somewhere else, incorporated that learning into their system. So there is no reason why should we not do it. Karate to stay relevant and moving with times, we should go and learn different things. We know now from the historical research that karate was orientated more into the grappling arts. So instead of reinventing the wheel, go to the wrestling training. I benefited a lot from the wrestling training, and it's changed my view on katas. But I never said that, we always done the bunkai with the throws and takedowns. No, I went, I spent years in wrestling gym talking to the wrestling coaches, how they see that movement from the kata, how they see that movement from the kata. And they give me the ideas that I can incorporate and build upon my understanding of forms. It is not that I learned the forms as they were created by masters. We don't know what they done. We don't know what really the applications were. There were so many changes in karate when it went to Japan and been sportified and kind of made as a lifestyle activity, removing all the throws to not step on the toes of Jigoro Kano, and just sportifying and making it more appealing to the wider audience, which is a overall positive thing because we wouldn't be doing karate as we're doing now and rediscovering those elements because it would went into obscurity and being just in Okinawa. So go out there, learn a stuff, bring it in. Same. Maybe karate didn't have a groundwork. That's okay. Maybe you just had a little to get up, stand up, to defend yourself, so escapes from the ground. I understand that's possible. Everybody wants to get up from the floor where they fell over, especially in a self-defense situation. You don't want to spend their time, but I think in old times, it was more of a you down, you probably dead because somebody had a sword knife or something like that. So being on the floor wasn't the smartest idea, and I don't think so in the self-defense now modern days is this good idea either. I often see people demonstrating stuff from karate circles, imitating BJJ moves, but they're lacking details. Being in that environment and seeing how the BJJ guys work, you can start seeing the mistakes. And I'm guilty of that as well. We've been copying stuff before I officially start training with BJJ based on some instructionals and brief appearances on the seminars and stuff like that. And then you think to yourself that, I'm missing so much stuff, technical stuff, details how to move. It's completely different context and completely different movement patterns. Even if you take the Hikite, if you want to learn more about Hikite, here's the clip that upset a lot of people within the martial arts circles. But even the Hikite, we're pulling down. In BJJ, you're pulling up most of the times. So that the trajectory of Hikite is completely different. Body mechanics are different. So the habits from karate are getting in the way for me in the BJJ. But you don't need to go out there and say that we always done it. Just it's okay. It's okay to say we don't know something, we never done it before. we might go and learn and, reach out to people and make community bigger. And again, I've shared a video. I'm gonna do a longer video this week about my try with Tommy John Moore on the boxing rules. I wanted to test my sparring, hands only, and head movements and body movements, how it stack up against the boxer. And the outreach from community was like, why are you training with boxers? You're a karate person, you shouldn't do that. That's not karate, this is boxing. You cannot compare. Why are you not kicking? Why are you not doing this? We always move like that. Well, you're not. It's a completely different game. I got my lesson. Like I said, the video is gonna be posted soon, so you can have a look and listen to what I've learned from that experience. But we're not boxers. I don't need to win with the boxers. I got my lesson. I just wanted to test it, my ability to survive and not be destroyed. Obviously, it was a light contact, and we respected each other. But still, I've got my lessons. In summary, karate people, stop pretending that we've got everything. We don't. Karate have been watered down. We need to relearn the skills, add new skills, evolve. That's what the masters would want us to do. And I'm sure that really all the masters would appreciate our efforts to bring karate to be a meaningful martial art, not only a activity for kids. I'll leave you with that. I wonder what's your opinion about that. Drop the comment down below. Subscribe, press that like button, hit that notification button so you got the access to new videos. And if you would like to grab the t-shirt, Dojo is my safe space. That would be awesome. You can support some good work from my coaches and friends around helping people. Well done for listening to all of it. You are a superhero. Thank you very much for your support. And if you could leave us that review on a podcast platform, that would be amazing. I appreciate your time, appreciate your support, and I wish you all the best until the next one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.